This is a ballpoint pen that was invented in the United States more than 130 years ago. Its appearance has changed the world, helping to increase the literacy rate from 35% to 90%. A ballpoint pen may seem simple, but in fact, it involves quite complex techniques and technology behind it. In Europe in past centuries, quill pens were not only difficult to use but also produce very messy handwriting. At that time, not many people knew how to write with a brush, so many had to find someone else to write letters for them. It was not until 1809 that the first patent certificate for the fountain pen was issued in England. From then on, the fountain pen was born. Early fountain pens consisted of a metal nib and an ink reservoir. Although fountain pens are easier to use than quill pens, their coarse nibs still cannot control the ink, often leading to issues like ink leakage. However, at that time, a pen cost up to 150 United States dollars, so only 20% of buyers used it. Until 1888, American inventor John Lauder replaced the metal nib of the pen with 4 balls of different sizes. In this way, the ink can flow evenly and prevent the appearance of smudges. Although this design solves the ink leakage problem, the accuracy of the ballpoint in the pen tip is very high. If it's too large, it will block the ink, causing the ballpoint to get stuck at the pen tip and hard to rotate. If it's too small, it may cause ink to leak onto the paper. Secondly, this type of pen also has very high requirements for paper. It can only be used on thick paper. If used on slightly thinner paper, it will scratch. Later, a journalist named Radis discovered that the issue with the pen was not the pen tip or the paper, but that the water-based ink would be affected by the angle at which the pen was held. The ink is easy to flow and soak into the paper fibers, so he started experimenting with oil-based ink. This type of ink is very thick and difficult to flow out or absorb into the paper. At the same time, it also causes capillary physical effects in small ink tubes. This effect makes the ink write out without the influence of gravity or other external forces. We will insert a transparent straw into this glass of water and observe how the capillary action effect is carried out. When the water molecules in the straw come into contact with the walls, they are attracted to the surrounding molecules, creating a force that increases or decreases, causing the water in the straw to rise or fall. Radis applied this principle so that the round tips of the pen always remain covered with ink. This way, no matter how the angle of holding the pen changes, a smooth straight line can still be drawn. The design of it is very good, although the materials and techniques have pushed the price of the upgraded ballpoint pen up to 190 United States dollars, still making it a luxury item that ordinary people cannot afford to use. Until 1945, the French manufacturer Marcel Bit believed that the ballpoint pen should not be a luxury item. It should be a writing tool that everyone could use. Therefore, he bought the patent for the ballpoint pen for 2 million United States dollars. Later, with the help of an advanced Swiss watch factory, he developed an assembly line device to mass-produce small stainless steel ball bearings. To reduce costs, he also bought a plastic molding machine and mass-produced plastic shells. Finally, the ballpoint pen was improved and sold for just 2 United States dollars. Its design is almost perfect. There are no complex materials in the pen's nib. The pencil case has a hexagonal design. It is not only easier to grab, but also prevents it from rolling on flat surfaces. The pen casing is made of very sturdy, waterproof, and transparent polystyrene. You can see how much ink is left at any time. The top of the pen casing has a small hole, located just above the grip. This small hole allows air to enter, compensating for the vacuum inside the pen refill, preventing ink from flowing backward and enhancing the capillary effect. The stainless steel ballpoint of the pen has an accuracy of up to 0.8 millimeters, so when using the pen, the ink will perfectly cover the tip for writing. When not in use, the steel ball will block the nib to prevent ink from leaking out. The pen cap will act as a pen clip and provide shock absorption when dropped to prevent damage to the pen tip. This perfect ballpoint pen solves all the problems of previous fountain pens. The most important thing is that it is very affordable. After being listed, sales quickly reached 100 billion, helping people to write and draw. The result is an increase in the literacy rate of the people from 35% to 90%. To this day, the ballpoint pen is still widely used. Do you know which pen is currently the most beautiful and expensive in the world?